What's up, film nuts? I hope you are all doing well today. Guys, it's finally here. We have the Justice League review. And I wish I would have gotten this out a couple days ago, so running a little bit late, but I'm sure you guys, most of you guys have seen it, you hardcore film fans out there. I'm sure you guys have seen it, and please leave in the comments what you guys thought. But here, I'm gonna go on into it and just really my take on it. No Jake this week, once again. Jake, I love you and miss you, and I'm holding the fort up here. We're in my shady bedroom, but it seems to be working out okay at the moment. So the Justice League. So it was directed by Zack Snyder, and for the cast, well, we got Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Ray Fisher. That's really the main Justice League right there. But also some other good actors. But really, once again, bringing out the heavy hitters when it comes to the cast. And you know what, guys? They all did a good job. I enjoyed each one of them. I thought it was good acting on all their parts. We'll get kind of in the dialogue in a sec. My initial reactions with the film. I knew DC had a lot riding on this one because if the Justice League didn't work, they would have had a much harder time trying to follow suit with the rest of their movies. So a lot was depending on this one. And you know what, guys? They did not fail. They did not fail. So you know, this was big for DC. You know, within Marvel, you know, within the DC Marvel battle, DC's been taking a lot of hits. They've had some good stuff, but they've been taking a lot of hits. They've been losing the war against Marvel. But for this movie, guys, I went to go see it with friends, and you know what? It was an enjoyable experience. You know, not too big of a comic book fan, and not knowing too much about all the DC background and characters and whatnot. I enjoyed the movie. It was enjoyable. And now, at the same time, they didn't fail, but I wouldn't say it was above and beyond amazing. But so, like any movie, it has pros and cons, which is why you're here. So you know what, let's talk about what they did well. So first and foremost, the characters I thought were all solid. The squad of the Justice League, I thought they were all cool characters. And you know, especially like ones like Cyborg, who I didn't really know what to expect from that. I didn't even realize, to tell you the truth, Cyborg was a part of the Justice League. But he was still a cool character. I enjoyed his background. And you know, same with the Flash, I thought was cool. And you know, all the characters were really cool. None of them were just like, none of them seemed really out of place or nothing, and that was really cool. And you know, and that kind of led into the whole chemistry of all the characters, and that'd be like, I would say, the second pro, the chemistry of all the characters. It worked. You know, they kind of played around with each other, and they kind of poked at each other, and it was good. It wasn't just boring and dry. There was definitely chemistry, and that's always a plus. So now going on, I would say the third pro, they had a really good antagonist in this one. So you know, I would say Suicide Squad, that was a major flaw. It was definitely a poor antagonist in Suicide Squad, but with this film, Steppenwolf, he's the name of the guy, or god rather, was a very cool character. Now his CGI rather, we'll talk about in a sec. But Steppenwolf himself, when I saw him, I'm like, this guy's a badass. You know, and I was excited to see what was gonna happen. He was really, really cool. He kind of reminded me of Viking-esque. I don't really know his background too much, but it seems like a Nordic kind of god kind of feel. And it was very interesting, but really cool. I thought it was a strong antagonist. So I would say the last major pro in the movie would be, you can definitely tell in this one, the filmmakers, they were trying to definitely lighten up the atmosphere of this film. And you know what? And that was with DC. Things have been much darker, as you can tell, when compared to Marvel. But so they tried to lighten it up, obviously, in this one. And you know what? I appreciate the effort. I like how they did that. Now, did that exactly work? Not at all times, especially when it came to Batman, which my friend Aaron pointed out to me. He's a real fan when it comes to you know, Marvel and DC with the superheroes, and he'll tell you anything you need to know. But I know he was commenting to me how, you know, Batman really, the character Bruce Wayne in some of the scenes was just it was out of character for him, in the sense of the humor that kind of took place. It really seemed out of character, and I could see that. I could tell. I could feel Aaron cringing next to me when we were watching at the movies. But I do appreciate them trying to lighten up the atmosphere a little bit within the film. So going into the cons, guys, once again we got First and foremost, we got some script issues. There was some corny dialogue. There was some cringe. There was some cringe in this movie. A lot of it came from, I would say, from Batman. Just kind of feeling out of place, I think, with a little bit with the humor. There's some things they just need to work out, I think, with the dialogue. I don't know who really wrote the script, but sometimes it just came out cheesy. These lines, and I was just like, it seemed quite obvious. It stood out to me, and that's something they need to work on. They really got to get that dialogue sharp. I don't, and sometimes I just don't know what it is, but it just something doesn't work. Now, I will say that I wouldn't say that was 98% of the movie, but there was noticeable parts where it was just it was cringy. So the next con, I would say, quite obviously, and I was surprised by this one, for as much money that goes into the movies, poor CGI, and especially noticeably with Cyborg and Steppenwolf, it definitely struck me as unrealistic and just overall shady in nature. I don't know. I mean, they must have seen kind of what they created. I thought they could have just stepped it up, though. It looked just kind of 5 notches down from where it needed to be. And that takes away when you're going into a movie, you're suspending your reality just briefly, to really take on a new reality when watching a film. And when you're dealing with poor CGI and poor effects, it really takes you out of it. And I found myself being kind of taken out of it. So I also thought that in this movie, the story could have been told better. The pacing was a little off. I feel like throughout, things were loosely tied in with going into each character, and though so you're just getting introduced as story goes on to each character, and it's kind of a little more obvious of what they're trying to push onto you. And so I would say pacing didn't quite work in the favor for the film. It definitely, I think, could have been told in a little bit of a neater package. And you guys, last but not least, when it comes to, and this is just kind of, I found myself noticing with the superhero movies in general, you kind of wonder when it's going to start getting old about the world needing to be saved with the superhero formula, where you have aliens kind of coming on in, then we all got around together, then we got to fight these aliens and whatnot, and then you got Superman being so overpowered that all you can take, all you need just an alien from a faraway planet to something that even take on or give Superman at least a little bit of a fight. Superman seems so overpowered, and so I found myself in this movie just thinking, it was starting to get to me where it's just like, how can they shake up the formula a little bit of just the world constantly needing to be saved, which I know is crucial when it comes to a superhero movie, but to me it's starting to get old. And so I'm curious, I'm challenging the filmmakers to try to do something else with it, because it's just seeming like you have some sort of extraterrestrial coming out from somewhere, and then the squad needs to get together and they need to take him on, then big ol' ending battle at the end. Not saying it's necessarily Justice League's fault, but it just started to build up in me within these superhero movies. So, guys, Justice League, you know what? I enjoyed seeing it with my friends. I would say definitely worthy of going to see in theaters. Let me know what you think. If I had to give it a rating, guys, I would give Justice League, I would say I would give it a 6.8 out of 10. But I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy this review. As always, we love you. Film Nuts will catch you next time. Alright, see you guys. Yeah.